In the following video, you're going to see me quilt a quilt, and I'm kind of like starting in the middle. The quilt's already on the frame, and I started quilting because I had a minor flood in our basement, and so I couldn't film the start of the quilt. But this is the quilt that I'm going to be talking about. And I pieced this quilt out of just orphan blocks and stuff that I had, and just fabric from my stash. I don't like the quilt. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to go ahead and put the binding on, and I don't know. Try to find somebody that wants it. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks. Just a short clip to show you what I'm working on. And I decided to custom quilt this. Not free motion quilting, but it is custom quilted. So I got two different types of border. You can't really see the black. And then each one of these squares will have its own block. And I'll show you what that looks like. Here's the blocks that I'm currently stitching in here. And here's the borders that I put in. These are some I digitized a long time ago. I digitized this, and this is a pattern I bought. This is actually not one that I'm using, but it's kind of how I decided to do it. Now this is a pretty big quilt. I think it's 72 by 96, and it's pretty busy. Actually kind of wild. I think these blocks are something I did already on YouTube, and I just put this together. Why am I custom quilting it if it's so wild? I don't know. I guess I'm just a little bit tired of doing edge to edge. So even though it's not going to show up a ton, you'll be able to see it on the back because the back is pink. So the back is kind of a pieced back, different colors of pink. And you'll be able to see the custom quilting on the back. So I think it'll be pretty. So the reason I didn't film this quilt is because we had some flooding in the basement. And my husband just now finished fixing the floor. We had water under the floor that we just laid. And he had it drying out for a couple of days. And all my camera equipment and everything was on the other side of the room. Here's the actual pattern I'm doing in just the plain dot square. And so this pattern I digitized. This one I bought, and I'll have to look it up and see what it's called. So I'm not real sure. The thread I'm using is kind of a navy. I don't know if I like all those lines on it. I don't know. Well, it's probably too late to switch out the thread. I just don't know if I'm really thrilled with it. Maybe I should have went with a pink or something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Well, I absolutely hate this color on this block. I think it takes away from the beauty of the block. And so I'm going to pull this block out, and I'm going to stitch the rest of them with some pink thread and see what that looks like. Probably leave this. I already started taking some of it out. Probably leave it till the end, until the rest of the quilt is done, and then remove it and stitch it again. I finished stitching these, and you can't see them on the video, but yeah, another thing I don't like the density of this block, so I might choose something else. I think this one looks fine, and I had been worried about this one a little bit, but I think I'll choose something that's less dense and then stitch it again. We all make mistakes. And sometimes we do something that turns out we don't like it. I was just being lazy. I didn't want to change my thread. And now I have to pull out a bunch of stitching. So I think it looks okay in the border. It's the same color as the border fabric. And I think that looks okay. And I thought I could get away with the same thread throughout, but it doesn't look like it. Well, I have a choice of these two other blocks. I really don't want a block that has stitching that goes into the middle, because that's where the half square triangles meet, and it'll just be a mess. So both of these have a spacing. I can't really decide which one I like better. This one or this one. I think I'm kind of leaning towards this one. I think it looks more feathery, kind of goes with this block. I think that's what we'll try that one. One of the things I want to do is I want to set my long arm foot in the middle of the block. Go back and look on the pattern and make sure it's kind of centered. And see if I can center the pattern. Just so that it looks okay when I go to stitch it out. All right, here is the new block stitched out. I think that looks a lot better. You can see the stitching, but it doesn't distract from the beauty of the block. I like this one. This one's a mess. You can see I started taking the stitching out. It'll take me a while, but hey, rather it look like that than like that. Let's take a look at the back of the quilt, and you can see this is where I stitched it in the pink thread, and you can barely see it. And of course you can see the navy blue thread really well. The pink thread again, and of course this part of the backing is different, and you can see where I've been trying to take out the stitches and make it quite a mess. I probably will, I don't know, there's something therapeutic about pulling stitches out. When I'm finished tonight, I may take it off at the long arm and pull the rest of the stitches. I don't know. I have zippers on here, so it's not that hard to take off. Let's talk about changing thread on your long arm. So when I first started quilting, I changed thread a lot. And you can see in this quilt, almost every block is a different color. And then of course, all the borders are a different color. And so I have no idea why. As I get older, I'm getting lazy. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. Let me show you how I'm going to chunk my borders down on my Gammill. So I already did this side. I'm getting ready to do this side. And first thing we're gonna do is draw a boundary. On my machine, I have some buttons here, and this one I can use to draw my boundary with. So I'm gonna click a spot, come all the way down to the bottom, go across to this side, and back up here close to where I started. And then I'm just going to hit this a couple of times to get out of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my needle exactly where the other pattern stopped quilting, right here, and I'm just going to put my needle down real quick. You could see this is where my pattern stopped, and the quilt has shrunk a little bit, you know. So we're just going to copy this, rubber stamp it, and we want that to start right there where my needle is. And then we'll just continue down. And I'll probably have to adjust these a little bit. And I just want to fill up the boundary as much as I can. No. And there we go. And of course it's not going to perfectly line up with the last stuff I did, and that's okay. And so now I'm just going to go through and adjust my patterns, make sure they're like this one is not quite joined up. And then I'll get ready to quilt it out. Good morning. I'm on day 3 of quilting this quilt, and it's going to take me 15 hours to quilt it. It's about an hour and 20 minutes per row. There's 7 rows plus the borders. It's about 15 hours. So I am on, I think, row 4. 1, 2, 3, row 4. And so I want to show you a little bit of what happens when you start custom quilting something and you haven't basted down your whole quilt. So I have this row basted down and I have stitched in the ditch. That's why it's also taken me so long, because I did do all the stitch in the ditch. I always hate it when I don't do that, so I went ahead and did the stitching in the ditch. But you can see the fullness in the blocks, because I'm trying to keep the quilt as straight as I can. I have this little marker thing on here to show me where I need to line up the quilt. And as I keep going down, it's probably going to get a little bit fuller as I get down to the bottom, because I did not do all the stitch in the ditch first. But I think we'll be able to take care of it. And I did take out all the stitching for the first block I did that I hated, and that probably took me at least, I don't know, a couple of hours or more. Did it over a couple of days, so I actually had to unzip it from the top and finish that. So I'm going to keep on going, chunking down the sides of the quilt for the borders and doing the blocks. Okay, here's the finished quilt, and I don't hate it. 15 hours of quilting and you can't see any of it, but that's okay. I think it still looks good. It's still wild and whatever. Be good to throw out on the grass if you want to have a picnic or something like that. So let me show you the back. Okay, the back is prettier because you can see the quilting, and I still have a bunch of threads I need to trim, but the back looks good. I mean, yeah, and like I said, it was more practice. So here's some thread I need to trim. I don't know, I just wanted to test this border pattern that I had done, and I digitized this, and I just wanted to test it out. Anyway, hope you like this video. We'll see you again. Bye.